The experience you're about to have is called a guided meditation. It is a journey with Jesus, and it can be a very powerful experience in your life. It's a very special kind of form of prayer. Maybe you've never done it before, so I'd like to give you a couple of tips about how to get the most out of this. There's going to be some music, and I'm going to be guiding you on the journey, and all you need to do is just really keep your eyes closed. Don't open them no matter what. You're going to be going very deep within your soul, and if you open your eyes, it might be distracting for you.
Now, like you just
don't try and make anything happen. Just kind of see what happens. Don't stop to try and figure anything out.
Just be aware of
and don't
yourself.
stay any place on the trip longer than I have you.
Whatever position
just keep
you
moving
might be
with me.
in. For example, be aware of where you have your hands right now. Are they on your face? Are they in your lap? Are they across your chest? Are they at your side? Are they on a chair? Are they on your legs? Are they clasped together? Are they separated? Just be aware of them. Notice where your feet are. Are they on the floor? Are they on some other object? Are they on top of each other? Are they separated? Just be aware of them. I want you to see your whole body completely surrounded by a circle of God's loving and healing light. And I want you to imagine that you're really sitting on some comfortable couch or chair in a room painted your favorite color. And I want you to do something that maybe you've never done in your whole life. I want you just to notice your breathing. I know it might sound like a crazy thing to ask of you, but just work with me on this. Notice how you breathe air in, it goes through you, and you breathe air out. It sounds like an unusual request because breathing is something we completely take for granted. And yet the scientists tell us that if we didn't have this simple ability to breathe air in and out like this, our souls couldn't stay living in these bodies for a second. You may not know this, but there are holy people around the world that do what you're doing right now every day. And the way I've heard some of them describe it is like this. When a person's breathing in, you're not just breathing in air. You're breathing in God, His love, His energy, and inspiration. And when you breathe out, you're not just breathing out air. You're breathing out into the world the special way that you alone can reveal God to this world. So for these holy people and for you and I, our whole lives, we're breathing God in and out. Now you feel ready to start your trip. So you get up from that comfortable couch or chair and you walk around the room. At the end of the room there's this door, and you decide you'd like to open the door, so you do. On the other side of the door is a beautiful stairway, and you start walking the steps one at a time, real relaxed, breathing in and breathing out. At the end of the stairs now, there's another door. This one looks to you like the color of a large Bible, and it has Jesus' name in the middle of it in big gold letters. I want you to write your name on that door, any place you feel like. You finish writing your name and the door magically opens by itself, and the next thing you know, you find yourself in the middle of a beautiful country field. And you start walking through the field, real relaxed, breathing in and breathing out. Take just a second to notice what season it is in the field. Notice what you see all around you. Is there grass, dirt, rocks, bushes, flowers, birds, animals, ice, snow, sun, clouds, mountains, lakes? Just take it all in, realizing everything you can see around you is a sign from God of how much He loves you. And if you should come across something that you think you might really like taking with you on this trip, well, just scoop it up. And if you don't worry, just keep walking. You come upon a stream of water and you cross the stream. Now on the other side of the stream there's more field, a lot more field, and now there's a path taking you through the field. And you walk along the path, breathing in and breathing out. The path becomes a road, and when it does, up ahead on the road you can see in the distance a bunch of people. You get a little bit closer, and that's when you realize that one of these people is somebody very, very special to you. Somebody who means the world to you in your heart. Somebody who means so much to you, you almost can't believe they're right there. But they are. And they're so excited to see you. They're waving, they're smiling, they're calling out to you. Hey, come on, get over here, join up with us. and you're so excited about the chance to be with this person. You run as fast as you can. You catch up to them. You're a little bit out of breath, but they don't even care. They just throw their arms around you. And they're so proud of you. They start introducing you to everybody there. Listen to the words this special person uses to introduce you. Now it turns out that one of the people in the group there is Jesus. Listen to how this very special person introduces you to Jesus. Now look right in his eyes. See what it means to him to be meeting you right now. And now Jesus suddenly decides that he feels like introducing you to his family and friends. His mother Mary is right there. So is St. Joseph, a bunch of the apostles, some other people you don't know. Listen to what Jesus has to say about you. And now you and Jesus and that special person and everybody else, you're all walking along this road. What you begin to realize real quick is that this road has all along been taking you up the side of a mountain. Because the next thing you know, you find yourself at the top of this mountain alone with Jesus. For some reason, everybody else fell real far back. It's just you and him up there. You're looking around, you're realizing you're real high up. And there's a very strong wind blowing. But you don't feel scared at all because it feels like the Spirit of God, and besides, you're with Jesus. And you look at Jesus closely and you realize for the first time that he is shining with the most amazing, intense light. Feels like to you a very holy light. Look right in his eyes, see his face, his whole body is just glowing with his beautiful and wonderful light. And Jesus comes right up to you, places his hands very gently on your shoulders. He looks you right in the eyes, and he says to you, you know, I love you so much. You are so special to me, you always have been. You've always been one of my favorite people that my Father ever created. And there's so much I've been wanting to share with you and tell you about and bless you with for so long now. Well, before you can say anything back to Jesus, you find that he and you have been magically transported to right in front of where you live. You see yourself and Jesus going through your front door. You bring him into your living room. You call out to your family and your loved ones. Hey guys, gotta get in here. Boy, have I got a surprise for you. One at a time, the people you love come into this living room. And when they do, you introduce them to your friend Jesus. I want you just to notice how they react. What do they do? What do they say? How do they seem to feel to be meeting him? Take it all in as you introduce them one at a time and see what happens. Go ahead. Take a second now to let yourself feel what it's like to be the one that brought Jesus home to everybody like this. And now I want you to get in touch with what is it that deep down inside you wish for these people you love. Is there someone in your life that needs a physical healing? Somebody getting old, somebody sick, somebody's body falling apart, somebody in an accident? Is there somebody that's not okay on the inside? Somebody that's always stressed out? Maybe missing somebody. Maybe you got a broken heart. They don't laugh anymore. You haven't seen them smile since you can remember. Someone got a bad attitude. Someone got a bad habit, doing something that's hurting themselves or hurting you, or both. Someone needs to make a change. Someone desperately needs to feel that God really does love them. Whatever's rising up within you, whisper that thing into Jesus' ear, and then watch him bless that person with what you just wished for. Do this for each of your loved ones and see what happens. Go ahead. And now it's time for you to be alone with Jesus. I want you to take him to your room or your favorite place in your home. Just you and him right now. Everybody else is gone. Just you and him. Jesus is still shining with that holy light. I want you to tell him something that's been on your mind lately. Something that's been troubling you or confusing you. Something you have doubts about. Something you're struggling with. Something that's hurt you. Whatever it is that it feels right to let him know that you're going through. Don't hold it back. Tell him right now. And watch what he does and says. Go ahead. And now something is rising up within you that you don't feel so good about. Something you want to get rid of. You want to confess it. You hit it off your chest. A sin, a mistake. Something you did once that really hurt somebody. Something that you do a lot that you know it isn't right. You got to try and change it. Whatever it is that you want to let Jesus know you feel sorry for, tell him right now. And watch how he reacts. And now Jesus kind of takes you by surprise. He takes his hands and he very gently places them like right on top of your eyes. And you can hear Jesus praying through these eyes. Throughout your life, may you always see goodness and light and love. Then you feel his hands moving and now they're blessing your ears. And Jesus is praying through these ears. As long as you live, no matter how much noise or negativeness might surround you, deep, deep inside, may you still always be able to hear me telling you of how much I love you. The next thing you know, you and Jesus have been magically transported back to the mountaintop. The wind is still blowing real hard. Jesus comes right up to you. He has in his hand a gift. Right this second, Jesus is giving you a gift. What is it? Listen to everything Jesus says to you about this gift. And now, you give Jesus a gift. What is it that you find yourself giving him right this second? What is it that you want to say to Jesus about the gift? How do you feel to be giving him this? Is there anything else you want to tell him right now? Now look right in Jesus' eyes. See what it means to him to be receiving this from you. And it doesn't take you very long to realize how Jesus feels. Because the next thing you know, he takes his arms and he throws them around you. And he's giving you the biggest, tightest bear hug. And it feels so good. Because Jesus is just holding you tight and he's swinging you around and he's laughing out loud. And he's smiling from ear to ear. And it feels so good. It feels so good just knowing how truly happy it makes him to be this close to you. It feels so good just knowing that the love is real. It's not just something that they talk about. This is the most real and loving friend that you'll ever have in this life or the next. He'll be with you every second of this life and the next. Nothing you'll ever do will drive this love away. This is the one thing this world can never take from you. And it feels so good just to be this loved. You kind of wish you could stay right here in his arms a lot longer. But you know you can't. You know you got to get down that mountain. You got to get back to your life. And so you take the gift he gave you and you start coming down the mountain. And you know what you realize real quick? Something changed. You feel different inside. You feel like he must have lifted some kind of heaviness off your back or your heart or both. Because you feel light, free, like a little kid again. Nobody can touch you. Nobody can stop you. And you're flying right down that mountain, right through the field, right over the stream, right through the rest of the field. The Bible door magically opens by itself. You fly the stairs. Coming back through that door, taking you into the room where you started this trip. And you got a feeling inside, you want to go over to the window. So you do. And you look out, and right there is Jesus and his mother Mary and St. Joseph and that special person that introduced you to Jesus on the road before, and you can just feel their joy because the four of them are waving and smiling like crazy. You can't even help but wave and smile back. You know what you find? You're holding that gift that Jesus gave you right next to your heart. You kind of realize why. You wanted to try and show him that you'll always treasure what he gave you on this journey. I want you to really let yourself feel one more time. What does it feel like to have personally received that gift from Jesus himself? And at this time in your life, whatever time of life that might be, I want you to see if you've got some kind of feeling about what else Jesus is going to be blessing your life and your heart and your loved ones with in the days to come. And now you and Jesus and Mary and Joseph and that special person, you all give each other one more big wave and smile, knowing this is not goodbye. You will never say goodbye. You live forever in one another's hearts. And now you come back to that comfortable couch or chair. You sit yourself down, stretch your arms out in front of you, and gradually open your eyes and realize you're back. Okay, I've done this enough with different people around the world to know that a lot of people have a really life-transforming experience on this guided meditation. I also know that it's very normal and natural and common for some people to be doubting the whole experience at this point. In case that's you, in case you're sitting there thinking, well, that was pretty nice, but I bet you it's just something I made up in my imagination. I'd like to straighten something out that's not true, and I can prove it to you actually a couple of different ways. How can you really say your brain made that up? My brain did. You really had no idea what I was going to say next, so you can't really say your brain did that. It was all coming at you too fast for your brain to really have taken over there. You probably thought the breathing thing was a little weird. You're like, yeah, I breathe, so what? I got to start noticing that I breathe. I don't have enough to do with my life. But actually, the process of noticing your breath, what it does is it gets you out of your brain. It brings you into a very deep space within yourself. A lot of martial artists will do the noticing of the breath technique. The reason being, to do martial arts properly, you can't be in your brain. You have to be in a very deep space, and noticing the breath gets you there. And even though this wasn't exactly karate, I included it in order to you to be able to get out of your brain and into your deeper place within your soul. You're probably wondering, why is he moving us like this? Didn't he say we were going to relax with Jesus? How the heck can I relax? I'm going in and out of rooms. I'm flying up and down mountains. You know, why doesn't he just leave us alone for a couple of seconds? The reason I'm moving you so quickly is because if I would have left you one place too long, your brain would take the trip over. That's just the way the brain is. Empty space, the brain will jump in every time and fill it up with busy thoughts. As long as you kept moving with me, your brain really never got the chance to take over and control the trip. And the fourth and biggest proof that I can give to you that you just really were with God is the fact that you probably didn't notice the passage of so much time. It varies a little bit, but you were probably gone 19, 20 minutes. And ask yourself, did it really feel like 19, 20 minutes? And the reason you probably didn't notice the passage of so much time, well, that's a sign that you were with God. You might have heard the expression, God knows everything. But How do you ever think about why God knows everything? And it's because God's reality is beyond time. Time is part of the physical world that we live in, and God is certainly in this world, but he's beyond it. There are people that meditate all the time, and I've heard some of them say that, you can lose hours doing this. There actually were saints in history that lost days doing this. There are a couple of saints, St. Francis, St. Teresa, while meditating like you were just doing, actually were known to levitate up off the ground. I'd be very surprised if that happened to you. So what you were just doing is stepping out of this world in a much deeper spiritual world. You're with God in a special way, and because that's the case, every single part of this meditation had a lot of deep insights and blessings for you for your life. And every single part of it is worth surely reflecting upon and praying about. I'd like to call to your attention, before I go, 4 things that a lot of people have really found helpful in their lives. One is to take a real good look at it and really never forget what Jesus gave you on that mountaintop. That gift from him is something that he wants you to have. He knows you're going to need for your life. And everybody gets a different kind of gift. Some people get a hug. Some people get actual presents. Some people get this warm feeling of their heart being on fire. Some people get a tingling up and down their back. Some people feel lifted out of their body. Some people get a person, an ability to do something, a special quality. Some people get very deep gifts, symbolic gifts like a cross or a heart or a key or a flower or a ball of light. No matter what it was that you got, treasure it. It's something, like I said, he knows that you're going to need. And if you're really not sure what the meaning is, try and remember what he said to you about it. And if you can't remember that, just maybe in a moment of prayer or meditation, again in the future, just talk to Jesus about it. I'm sure he'll explain to you what the meaning is. Second of all, don't ever forget what you gave Jesus on the mountaintop. The gift that you gave him is very much connected to what your mission in this world is. It's a sign or a clue of something important that you're meant to give to him and to give to the human family. And don't sit there and say, well, that's beautiful. I didn't give him anything. All I did was hug him. Well, that's not really nothing. If you hug someone, you really like you're giving them yourself. Try and remember all the things you wanted to say to Jesus and you did say to Jesus in those moments. For a lot of people, that's a very transforming experience to give of themselves to him in the ways that they do. Now, if for some reason you got or gave an empty box, or you got or gave a box that was not open, or you really can't honestly say there was gifts exchanged, don't panic. All that means is that the gift will be revealed to you in the future. It just wasn't meant to happen within the trip. In a moment of prayer or thought or meditation in the future, you'll have a moment where you'll understand what those gifts were about for you. Okay, so the gifts that you and Jesus exchanged on the mountaintop are real important. Third of all, try and remember everything that went on in the living room scene. A lot of people have told me they learned very deep and wonderful things about their family members in that living room scene from a couple of different ways. From the way they reacted when you tried to introduce them to Jesus, you can really learn a lot about what's going on between them and Jesus. In that moment, Jesus was trying to show that to you. How can you learn that? Based on how they reacted. If someone doesn't show up at all in the living room, that means something. They show up, but then they don't believe it's Jesus. It means something. They show up, but they act real uncomfortable around him. Or they start crying, or they get mad, or they just start laughing, or they just throw their arms around him and say, that's my buddy Jesus. Well, no matter what happened there, Jesus was trying to show you this is the way it is between this person and me. And maybe it'll give you something you can pray for or work for them. Try and remember what it felt like to be the one that was bringing Jesus home to everybody. Just remember, that's a really cool way for us to see ourselves as the one that brings Jesus to the people in our lives. Try and remember everything that you whispered into Jesus' ear. A lot of people tell me they see in that moment right through to the deepest needs of their family members' souls. They're surprised about what comes out of their mouth. But try and remember what it was that you've asked Jesus to bless those people with. And that's something that certainly you can to work for and pray for those people that you love. So there's a lot that you can learn in the living room scene. Fourth, always treasure the person on the road that introduces you to Jesus. Now, if for some reason you didn't see somebody, you can't actually say I saw a face, but you kind of knew someone was there, or you just kind of sensed them, or you heard them, or you just kind of, felt that they were there. They popped up in your head. You go with that. Not everybody, in fact, throughout this whole meditation, not everybody sees things. Some people hear, some people feel, some kind of people just know. Go with that. Don't be doubting your whole experience just because you can't say you clearly saw. But that person, and if you got more than one person, that's cool too. And if you got more than one person because one was on the road and another one popped up in the window later on, go with both of them. But that person is someone you are connected to real deep in Jesus. We're all connected to him in his body, or everybody is all one family. But if the person showed up on the road in that particular spot, the connection to you is real deep in him. And if it's somebody who you consider a closer best friend or a family member, that's great. If it's somebody who has died, don't be spooked by that. It's actually very special. It means that through Jesus, that person reached out to you to let you know of their love for you. You could be sure that that person really was with you on the meditation. That person will always be there at special times in your life. If you ever need extra prayers and love and backup, that person is pulling for you on the other side. The day you die, that person will be there to greet you at the gates of heaven. And you can be sure that they're always backing you up and you got that love. We all have people backing us up on the other side. But if they showed up on the meditation, it's an extra special sign. And they actually gave you a very special gift. You now know, maybe more than you ever did before, that we don't die. We don't live forever in these bodies, but we do go on. And maybe now you know that a little bit deeper than you used to. The person on the road is somebody who's still alive. That does not now mean that they're going to die. It means that they're very specially connected to you, and don't ever throw them out of your life. But that person is someone very special to you. And, sometimes the living, I don't know about you, but actually always I find the living a lot harder to get along with than the dead. You're much more likely to have a fight or an argument with somebody living. At least I hope you are. I hate to think you're having your biggest fights with dead people. Have to make a movie about you. We'll call it the seventh sense. Six senses you see dead people. Seventh senses you argue with the dead people. But seriously, to treasure the person on the road. They are someone you are connected to in God in a real deep way. Other parts of the trip that can mean something, where you put your name next to Jesus' name on the door can be a sign of how close or distant you feel towards him. Other things that can mean things on the trip are including what season it is in the field. Every season has a different meaning. Younger people usually see themselves in the springtime or the summer. If you're going through a lot of changes, you might see yourself in the autumn. If you're feeling like your life is in a period of like hibernation and the real you is about to bust out in the future, you might see yourself in winter. Other parts of the trip, you can think and pray about what they might mean for you. I'd like to give you a little something to do that can help you keep this meditation alive. I'd like to encourage you to go to the room where you and Jesus were alone. And if for some reason you can't do that because you brought him into the bathroom or the laundry room or something like that, do it in your bedroom or a central place in your home. I'd like to encourage you to build an altar there, a sacred space. This is not a big fat altar like in churches, or this is certainly not a Home Depot project. Just take like a little night table, end table, bookshelf, windowsill. Create like a little sacred space and have some fun with this. You can put anything you want there. Put a cross, a Bible, a rosary, favorite religious articles that have been passed on through your family. Maybe put a picture of your family. I would put a picture of the person who showed up on the road, on this journey. Maybe put pictures or prayer cards of all your loved ones who are in heaven praying for you. Put a picture of saints that you're close to, you feel especially connected to. A candle. Flowers, plants, bushes, whatever you want to do. Create just like a little special space. Not because we need altars to pray. We can pray anytime, any place. But if you have this little altar, you might see it on a regular basis, and it just may remind you to spend more time in prayer. And that's the only thing that really matters, because the more time we make to spend with God, the closer we'll feel towards him, and the more we'll be connected, and the more we'll gain the peace and the love and the joy that we all want and need for our lives. So I hope you have had a special experience with this trip, and I hope that you'll share it with other people you love. And I want you to know you'll be in my heart and prayers, and love you, and God bless you. Thanks.